It's Miss Street with a deer horn. Hi, Dan. Hope y'all having a good day. Who's ready to multiplication subitize? I'm ready. Not really. Here it comes. Zeb, I'm doing Facebook Live, dude. Oh, hello. That's nothing. Let's start fresh. Here we go. 3 groups of 4. The factors are 3 and 4, and the product is 4 plus 4 plus 4, 12.
No.
4 groups of 4. 4 and 4. Product is 16. Jesse. Nine groups of 4. Those are our factors. So it's like saying 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Sorry, that's Zip Street. Boy, this street's having a hot mess time with this one. 4 plus 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 4. 36. Because you can add that fast. Let's just stop there. That's a good way to stop. My goodness. So, we are still going through 3.NF.3, and Miss Street is going really slow at this because it's important to, because this is huge, okay? Represent equivalent fractions with area and length models. We've talked about what those are. Our area models are like our fraction bars. Our length model is like the number line. Using the words composing, decomposing, and related fractions, and Miss Street hasn't been doing a good job with that, and I know it. So I made myself big, I made myself big signs so I would remember to say those words and use them appropriately. You guys have to know that whole numbers up to the number 4, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, as fractions, and know that there are fractions greater than 1. So we have to know that 6/4 is less than 2, but it's greater than 1. And it's a number, 6/4. We also have to know that 4/4, if the numerator and the denominator have the same number, that they have a value of 1. So if I have 4 equal parts, 8 equal parts, 6 equal parts, 3 equal parts, if you add each one of those, so let's say this is a box. We're going with the box, okay? This is one whole box. So let's say we fill up 1/4, and then another 4th, then another 4th, then another 4th. That gives us 4/4. So we have filled up one whole box, okay? So yesterday, we were swimming like our good friend Dory. Just keep swimming. Miss Street really likes that. And my sisters call me Dory. And I'm fine with that. I like Dory. Okay, so each member of the boys' swim team swam for 1 minute. This chart shows the distance each boy swam. So Chris, we have swam 2/8. Brooks swam 3/4 of a mile. Drew swam 7/8. Zach swam half. Sean swam 3/6. Michael swam 1/4. We also could call that a quarter. And Juan Pablo, we're not sure what happened. So our first question is, which boys swam the same amount? Prove your answer using at least 2 different representations: a number line, fraction model, drawings, or words or numbers. So we started that yesterday, and this is what we came up with. This is we used a number line first, okay? So here we saw Chris swam 2/8. Michael swam 1/4. We can call that a quarter. Zach swam half. Brooks swam 3/4, so we could say 3/4 of a mile. Drew swam 7/8 of a mile. And here we had Sean. And this is where we talked a lot about our related fractions. And we've been talking a lot about how Miss Street's having a moment, how we take our 1/2. If we take 2 halves, we are composing one whole fraction. But if we are partitioning them, that's also called decomposing. We're making it smaller. So here we had half. When we partition it in half, we get 1/4. When we decompose this fourth in half, we get eighths. And that's what makes those related fractions. Okay? And so we also saw the same thing with thirds and sixths as related to the 1/2. So if we take 1/3 and decompose it in half, then we get 1/6. Okay? So I'm missing a third. I don't know. Okay, anyway, so this is how we saw which boys swam the same. We can see that Michael and Chris swam the same. Sean and Zach, that's what Miss Street was getting to. Sean and Zach, even though we've partitioned our number line, we took this one whole and we decomposed it into halves, fourths, and eighths because those are related fractions. But then we had Sean who swam 3/6 of a mile. And instead of drawing another number line, Miss Street showed you guys yesterday, I took a half, or I took 3/6 because that's what it says he swam. He swam 3/6 of a mile. And I related that to, if I do this, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6. I can see that 3/6 has the same value as half. I also, I did not mean to do that. I also related it to what we did last week with the rain totals. And I can do this. We made a double number line. And you can see here, halfway but on the number line that's decomposed into halves, fourths, and eighths. Halfway on the number line that's decomposed into thirds and sixths is 3/6. Can you see that? So that's how we know. Okay, and those are the only groups of kids that swam the same. So let's look at our next question. So we have to write the answer. Come on, Miss Street, go with the program. I know, right? Okay, so which boys swam the same amount? Prove your answer. Oh, 2 different ways. So we have Chris and Michael, and we have Sean and Zach. Now, it's asking me to do 2 different ways, and Miss Street only did one way. Which way did we do? We did the number line. So now Miss Street needs to do another way. So it tells me that I can do fraction models, drawings, or words or numbers. So I'm going to just do my fraction bars, okay? So here I go. I'm going to relate it to, just going to draw. You know what? I'd rather do it the other way. That's a true story, and I can. Oh, there's my third. It's in the floor. Okay, so here we go. So I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. Perfect. So here I have, this is my 1/2. This is the mile. Okay, so when I look at what I have, Chris swam 2/8 of the mile. So I'm going to do Chris in purple, like I did here. I could try to keep it color-coded. So 2/8 of the mile. I know if I do 2/8 of the mile, I'm going to take my mile and partition it into eighths. And I know to do that, I partition in half. Then I partition each half, or decompose. Decompose, decompose, decompose. You can't see decompose. Decompose. Then I decompose each fourth in half, and that gives me my eighths. So this is 1/8. This is 2/8. So this is what Chris swam. And if I need to, I can, to even make it better, Miss Street can color in the 2/8 so you can see. Okay, you see? Good. So now let's move to Brooks. Brooks, Miss Street made blue. So here's Brooks. And I'm just going to draw another whole mile and show what Brooks swam. So Brooks swam 3/4. So I know to partition my whole mile into fourths, I can partition in half. And I want to make sure that I line it up with my other one, just like we did in kindergarten measurement and data. It's a true story. And then partition in half and half, decomposing. So Brooks swam 3/4. So here's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So again, Miss Street can use a blue crayon to color that in so I can see it good. Perfect. All right. Next on my list is Drew. And Drew is in orange. So I'm going to draw the whole mile for Drew. Okay. And I am going to show that he was 7/8. So to decompose my 1 mile into 7/8, I know I decomposed the whole into half, into fourths, and then each fourth decompose in half, and that gives me 8s. And I'm really trying to make sure I line it up with Chris's 8s because that's very, very, very important. Okay, so again, this is Drew. Drew swam 7/8. So here's 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 7/8. Boy, Miss Street about kept going. And I can use my crayon and color that in so we can see it good. You see? Perfect. All right, next on our list is Zach, and I made Zach pink. So here's Zach. I'm going to draw the mile for Zach to show what he swam. See, for Zach, he swam half. Okay, so I know to decompose my whole into half, and I want to be sure that I line these up as best I can. He swam 1/2. So again, I can get my pink crayon and color that in so I can see it. Okay. Next, Miss Street has Sean, and Sean was the one that was 3/6. So Miss Street's going to show you how we do that. Okay. So here's Sean. So I've got to now use this fraction in thirds and sixths, okay? Because it's not relatable. We can't draw a fourth and get a sixth, okay, or a third. So here we go. I know to do thirds. I'm going to go right here. I partition into 3 equal areas, and then I partition each third in, or I decompose each third in half, and that gives me my sixths. So I'm going to partition in half, half, and half. So here's 3/6. 1/6, 2/6, 3/6. Okay, have to know how to compose and decompose those fractions so we can see how they are relatable to others. So I'm still trying to keep my halfway point the same, okay? Then we have Michael. Michael is in green. So here's Michael. Here's Michael's mile, if you will. So I'm drawing what Michael swam of the mile. He swam 1/4. So I know to decompose, I go half, decompose each half into fourths, and I know that's 1/4. And I'm going to color it green. Okay, and so next we have Juan Pablo, and Juan Pablo, we're not sure, but I'm going to draw his mile, and I'm going to put a J for Juan. And we're going to try and figure that out. But when I look at my drawing here, I can easily see who swam the same amounts. So I can see Michael 1/4 and Chris 2/8. I can see Zach is half and Sean is 3/6, and that has the same value, even though mine's a little bit, it's a little off right there. But it's okay. So Miss Street has shown two different ways. I've shown a number line and I've shown an area model with fractions. Okay? And so that's how I can answer number 1 the right way. Let's quickly look at number 2. Let's look at number 2. Between Brooks and Sean, who swam a longer distance? Write a sentence to explain how you know that you're correct. Brooks and Sean. So, Miss Street, I would love to use what I just did because I can see. So, here's Brooks. And here's Sean. If I try to measure who swam more. Yeah, Brooks swam more. So, we could even show that concretely with our fraction bars. I know Miss Street's going over. It's okay. So Brooks swam 3/4. And again, Miss Street's just using this to show you what this says. Okay? 3/4. And Sean swam 3/6. Look at that. What can we see here? Can you see what I see? Do you see what I see? It says to write a sentence to explain how you know that you're correct. Who swam a longer distance? Brooks swam a longer distance. So on our answer, we'll say Brooks swam the longer distance. How can we prove that we're correct? Can you see what I see? 2/4 and 3/6 have the same value as half. So 2 4 and 3/6 have the same value. Do you hear Barney in the background? So how much more did Brooks swim? He swam 1/4 or 1/4 of a mile more. The Street's running out of room, so I'm going to say Brooks swam 1/4 of a mile more than Sean. Okay, so it's very important, and we were doing this with second grade too. It's very important that you're able to write your answer. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to look at the last one, even though Miss Street had to write over it. Oh no, Juan Pablo's distance was not recorded on the chart. He swam the same amount as Brooks and has an 8 in the denominator. So tomorrow we are going to figure out how much of the mile Juan Pablo swam. So Miss Streets had a great time with you with our fractions. I hope what I'm showing you makes sense and you feel confident in playing around with your fractions and drawing. Again, Miss Street's not using anything fantastical. I'm just using things that I have at home. So I hope you guys have a great day and I will see you tomorrow. See you soon.